welcome someone that's got me totally tongue-tied, Sylvester Stallone. I now have rows all over my teeth, class. What a pleasure to meet. You bumped right into me in the Pierre Hotel.
Really?
In New York, yeah.
Was I trying to mug you, or was that before?
No, that was New York City, so I assumed, you know. And what I love is because I was reading the notes, because before we meet, when we don't know each other, they give you notes. And what I love, because to me you've been such a major star, that you went through such garbage to get there. And that cheers you up. It's really like a Rocky story.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Well, yeah, thank you. It is. It's to me, it's like a constant affirmation that miracles do exist. It really is.
Oh,
it's incredible.
absolutely.
And I want to say, truthfully, like, I've watched your career. You're incredible.
Well,
you really are.
I've watched your career. And
you really are.
Oh, well, we'll see about that after the interview today.
Yeah.
Also, maybe we get along, we understand each other because we're both from the East. You're from Philadelphia, really?
Yeah, well, I was born... Yeah. I was born in Hell's Kitchen, New York, and I worked along the dock area in Philadelphia, and I lived there with my mother for a couple of years, and a couple of years there was enough to write about 10 movies about, so I haven't been back there for a while.
But you made Rocky there, and Rocky's always based there.
Well, Rocky's the kind of place, you know, I mean, Rocky needed a place like Philadelphia, someplace that hadn't been tapped, in a city of, like, real industry.
Tell me about getting started, because that was to me, when I went over the notes, that it didn't just, like, you went to how many agents that never, how many times you rejected by, I mean, you can't believe it now, right? You're at the top of you. How many agents did not use you? Well,
we started actually, I went through all the agencies, then I started getting rejected by all the secretaries, and eventually I worked at a janitor and said, no, nothing, nothing, and threw me back in the street. Well, I gotta admit, my approach was really bad, because most actors have these beautiful glossies made up. They make themselves look, and they have a professional photographer take this picture. I didn't know how to be that cool at the time, so you know those airport things, 4 for a quarter?
Sure.
And you try to show the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Say, look at this range. Ah! Each one different, and you say, look at that. And have I got it together? And then I would take it, and you could see him like dialing police. So I kind of didn't have it down together, but after a while I decided I really was going to make it as an actor, that I felt that I had something to say. That's when I began to write, and I painted my windows black. And
you what?
Yeah, I just didn't want any distraction at all. Well, actually, no one was looking in. I don't know why I bothered. They were black anyway.
It's a redundancy.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You painted your windows black?
Yeah, but windows black. I kind of like went into this, you might say, self-imposed isolation, and doing that, I guess that's where I just developed some discipline, and the rest I was very lucky.
No, not lucky. Don't you think success in our business is, I always say it's 1/3 push, 1/3 talent, and then maybe 1/3 luck.
I know, but I gotta say that because I look like an
idiot. Yeah, because you gotta look good. Now, but tell about all the jobs you had getting started.
Well, I started out in New York. I was, they had this one, you might say, tramp infested like hotel, and it was very, very bad. And the man said, if you can chase all these vagrants, because these vagrants would be there with machetes. They were tough vagrants.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, these weren't like your normal vagrants. They would sit there and have card games in front of your door. So I said, how do I get rid of these people? So at night they would sleep till about 3 in the morning. I'd go down. I'd put on a ski mask, you know, and a couple bayonets and scream, you know, the Russians are coming away. And of course they would panic and they'd leave. And eventually they really chipped in, the landlord, and he bought a chain lock. You know, it was really important on the front door. And then I went on to deliver. I delivered bottled water. It was a very important job. But every time I go into a producer, like David Selznick at the time, not David, David Merrick. Hey. Hi.
Nice to see you. I'm spellbound.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead. You go into it like a producer. I'll get him right back. You were delivering bottled water.
I was delivering bottled water, and I went into David Merrick's, and, you know, he's a big Broadway producer, so I'd go in there, and I'd say, well, your water is here. I'll drop it. You do cartwheels, and you do everything. You hope that, yes, we were just casting a man who carries water. Perfect. I mean, but it never quite worked that way. Then I worked in the lions. I worked cleaning out lions' cages in New York.
Clear out lion?
Oh.
You had the worst job.
They are, and they are so accurate with their movements. I never had a difficult time getting a bus, getting on the subway, a seat, anything. It was
Are they accurate time-wise or placement-wise?
Placement through the eye of a needle. You'd say, okay. They were bad. So then I had a job. I was a busboy and again an usher. But the usher was the best job in the world. It really was.
Where were you usher?
Right across the street from Bloomingdale's.
So in a movie theater, though?
In a movie theater where eventually Rocky opened.
Oh, that's
4 years.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it was great. So I went from that phase, and then I just, gave up working at all because I just wanted to write, and that's all I could do. So I had a job where I could work for I lived on $35 a week, and I'd write, and I'd write, and I'd write, and I'd write 35. And it was just like I had the whole thing down marginally. If I went out of my way for an extravagance like 2 tubes of toothpaste, I was wasted for the month. It was over,
Now,
with a tight budget.
Let me ask you, because now you're wealthy, do you still, when you spend money now, two things happen when people get wealthy when they've been very, very poor. They either go crazy with it and have a great time, or they find they still can't buy the 2 tubes of toothpaste.
Yeah, that's it.
You really still find it tight?
Well,
tough
the
to
thing
do?
is, did you find certain things you'll allocate, a piece of art. Oh, yeah, I'll spend a fortune for it. Guy goes in, how about 3 pair of Argyle socks? 2 pair, maybe 3 socks actually. And I just couldn't bring myself to it. Some things you just don't. At least I don't. I can't get away from that.
Isn't that awful?
In a way, but there has been so many horror stories about people coming out here and thinking that it is going to last forever, and it doesn't. It is an ephemeral, it is a cyclic thing. We're here and our careers go through the doldrums, and they come back and they go back. It is never this permanency. I always feel as though when I look at my house, I'm just basically, even though I own it, I'm renting it until the next fella comes along.
I know how to break my house up into 4 apartments. I have to, I swear to you. I say, we can put another kitchen there and we'll be fine. We'll just rent it to little strange people. We'll be right back after this commercial message, so please stay tuned. We're back. Great. We're back. Talking with Sylvester Stallone. You're dying of the heat. Why don't you, and she said it very calmly, why don't you just take off your jacket?
Okay, I will. No, I am dying. Thank you.
Now, don't you feel good that people think you're so attractive because you worked very hard to look like this?
I am flattered. But you should see John Travolta now.
Does he look good?
Oh, he's awesome. He is awesome. Well, thank you, but you'll see, he is incredible, and I have to say, I don't know if should we jump to that subject?
Anything you want to talk about, we're here to chat.
Because it was interesting, because John and I never thought that I would end up working, with someone who was so close to me in a sense, like, we're both, Italian descent and about the same age and whatever, and it never dawned on me. And when the idea was presented, at first I said, I don't think I can do it. But when I met him in the challenge, in the dance, because what he does in this dance... Oh, no. They like you.
I pulled it off, huh?
I don't believe this guy.
Who are you?
I'm really scared now because I stole your suit. Out of wardrobe. Well, that's great. You got up early.
No, I fooled you the whole time.
Did you really?
Yes.
Where were you?
They asked me to come on and surprise Sly.
You were that horny Christian outside.
Yeah. And I said, say no, say no. I said, say no the whole day. I said, make them think that I have to go to work.
Oh, it's
unbelievable. And then at the last minute, because I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, it's fabulous. I'm so glad you... I wish I had something to offer you. Have a Kleenex.
It's delicious.
So anyway, you were saying?
I was saying, I was about to get back on it. When the idea was presented, I was a little worried about it because I didn't know that much about dance, but I said, maybe if I approach it from a very athletic point of view, and knowing how dedicated John is, we could do something that is so much different than disco, because this has nothing to do with disco. And what this man put himself through is, I would have to say, far more grueling than I did for Rocky III. I mean, he transformed his body in 18 weeks, which took me 18 months.
Could you take off your jacket now?
Yeah.
But she asked you. Come on, Dad.
Take
Come on, it's gonna get hot.
Take it off. There we go.
That's enough.
What kind of regime did you go on?
Well, I tried to use the idea of the bodybuilding routine that I did for Rocky, but he incorporated dance. He was dancing 4 or 5 hours a day. I mean, I'd call him at 4 in the morning. Where is he? Tap dancing. You hear 3 in the morning. Just tap, 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 dancing. So it got to the point where he was living and breathing. People say, like, how do you get yourself in shape? It's very simple. You never talk to anyone again. You never eat, and you abuse yourself, like, physically 12 hours a day. So anyway, what happened was, at the end, he's on stage with 80 professional dancers. And I'll tell you, he outshines them all. Outshines them all. Incredible.
Now, can we see the clip?
Yeah.
What clip? Yeah, come on, set the clip. Set up the clip.
The movie basically is, it's things from our past. And one of the most anxiety-ridden moments in any actor's past, boy, is it hot. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Havana.
No, here, just keep talking.
Album. Hey. No. Anyway, one of the most anxious moments is when someone is waiting for that phone call. Did he get the part or didn't he get the part? And he's been waiting literally for 5 years, and finally it comes through. And he's living in this Fleabag hotel where everyone like looks at him like he's a maniac and have been, like he's a loser. And finally that a moment comes about.
And this is the clip.
Yes.
And it's him staying alive.
Spring.
You gotta work a little harder than the next guy. Be a little smarter if you wanna survive. You gotta move a little faster than the last time. Know just what you have to do. You gotta look out.
Yes, this is Tony Manero. Are you kidding? Hold on a second, turn down the radio! Yes, I got that. You kidding me?
That boy's crazy.
When do I start? All right, thank you, I'll be there. Way to go, Manero!
Hello? Tony! Well, it's about time I hear from you.
Guess what?
What?
I got a job on Broadway.
You got a job on Broadway doing what?
Dancing. Don't you remember? I dance.
Hey, no nudity, I hope.
Come off it.
Tony, keep your clothes on, you hear me?
Look, I'll call you later. I'll tell you all the details.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye. I love yous. I gotta change my residence.
It opens on Monday?
Opens on Monday. We have a cast and crew screening tonight because there was so many people involved. Yeah, we.
Can I just ask you one thing?
Sure.
Because you're now so talented as a writer, as a director, as an actor. If you had to just pick one, what would you pick? I was just curious.
I'd be a writer.
Writer. Well, it goes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just, well, if that's your writing, it's wonderful. I'm glad you're all three. And you silly devil. Am I glad you showed up? Ah, thank you both so much. Great good luck on the movie. Just a pleasure to see you both.